Hey everybody, it's David Plouffe. Sadly, Labor Day's over, and we are now just a little over 50 days out from the November 2nd congressional elections. It'll be here before we know it. Now, the Republicans in Congress are already measuring the drapes. They're convinced that they're going to win back the House and Senate and just about every major governor's race. And there's no doubt we face some tough political headwinds out there. But with your help, we can do a lot better than the pundits and the so-called political experts believe. We don't know what's going to happen on November 2nd. The one thing I'm absolutely confident of is we're going to have a lot of close races, decided by just a dozen votes, a few hundred votes in Senate races, House races, governor's races. And so what we all do over the next 50-some days is going to make the difference and turn races that we might lose 51-49 into wins by 51-49. So by November 2nd, we have a very audacious goal, and we are trying to reach through IFA 15 million voters in this country. And this is going to make all the difference in the world. We're going to have a lot of races decided by just a sliver of votes. And the work you do can make the difference. If enough of you go out there and volunteer, you can swing some of these states and districts into the Democratic column. There are a lot of competitive races out there. There's going to be at least 70 House races in play, about 15 competitive Senate races, a couple dozen tough gubernatorial races, and obviously there's a lot of local races. Now, in 2008 in the presidential campaign, we often would focus on one state as just an example for you of how all your work was going to make a difference. Today I'm going to focus on Pennsylvania, a big battleground from 2008. Pennsylvania has, like most states in the country, a lot of competitive races. In Pennsylvania, we have a very important Senate race. Our candidate, Joe Sestak, is running a great race, is essentially in a dead heat. We've got a very important governor's race to replace Governor Rendell. Our candidate, Dan Honorato, from the western part of the state, has a real chance to win that race if we can create the kind of turnout we need. And we've got House races all across the state that could help determine whether we retain control of the House or not. We've got 48 staff on the ground who are partnering with these volunteers, and we're going to about double that over the coming weeks to give you more assistance. We've got 10 offices on the ground, and we're going to open up a total of 18 offices for the stretch drive here. So the activity in Pennsylvania is going to be absolutely crucial. Now, we're going to add to that to make sure you've got as good enough information as possible. Our targeting team, we have a great targeting team who's focusing on understanding which voters we can persuade, which voters we need to really work on turnout. Whether it's the Senate race, the governor's race, the House races, there's real understanding of how to use your time most valuably. So you're only out there talking to people that we think either are as a prime persuasion target that we can convince them to vote and they're undecided, or Democrats who are saying right now they're not likely to vote. And that's what we really need to focus on. And our data is very clear on this. What is the most likely reason someone who says they're not likely to vote decides to vote? It's because one of you talks to them. That human conversation, and they pledged you that they're going to vote. That's the best way we can get someone who's on the fence about voting to vote. If you've got the ability to give a little bit more money to this effort, please do so. Every dollar you give us makes such a huge impact in our ability to talk to voters, open up offices, send communication to these voters who are hard to reach. So thank you for all you do for this effort to support the president, for your country. And let's go out there and work as hard as we can and have as good an outcome as we can on November 2nd. Thank you.